Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from me, host Imperial Dane. A Wonder vs. One awaits you on Semwaski. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, and that is Semwaski already here. We are seeing Fortune playing as the Germans for the Kampfgruppe Reinhardt, starting out here with the Osttruppen Doctrine, and already there summoned the Osttruppen Squad, 120 manpower, rather cheap, also low population. Also knowing here, infantry company up. Another Osttruppen Squad swiftly arrives, opposing him shall be Ozena, fighting for the Soviet Union for the 320th Rifle Division. Brutal fighting sitting about here. Osttruppen advancing in their larger squads, though overall a bit weaker than conscripts. I mean, in cover they can actually do more damage than conscripts, but overall they do have less health, which is rather an important thing to remember. So generally, I mean, you usually want them to work together with one to two squads covering each other. That way, sort of get the most out of them, I would say. But so far, moving ahead steadily. Two squads, then splitting up. MD42 arriving. He's obviously getting something here to support his Osttruppen, and also using the two initial squads to quickly grab as much territory as possible. And that's rather where the Osttruppen Doctrine can get you a bit of an early advantage, simply because of the fact, while your troops might not be as strong as the Soviets, I mean, again, you can get out that much more early on, and you can begin taking that much more territory early on. There we go, third squad of Osttruppen, MD42 arriving, point secured, Hilfswilliger. Generally, though, these gentlemen never really saw any serious frontline action the few times they were. I mean, at the end, by 1943, the Germans had deemed them a bit too unreliable, so they're mostly used for rear-line operations, dealing with partisans and the such, though of course they would still occasionally get thrown into frontline action for different reasons. I mean, basically these can represent any of the sort of Eastern Europeans that fought under German command. Pioneers are making a bit of a rush for the house, but looks like the conscripts might be into the first. Pioneers will have to retreat. Conscripts here versus Osttruppen. Osttruppen, of course, getting into common again. They get the bonus. Same thing over here, though they're here light versus heavy. And right here, they're definitely not looking too good, since the conscripts are definitely also up close. And again, note, Osttruppen do have lower health, so they're not quite combat equal. Again, you generally want more than one squad operating together. But there we go, MD42 arriving to support another squad of Osttruppen actually arriving. Here we see the conscripts being pushed back by the Osttruppen.
I suppose you need cannon fodder.
Over here the fight is not really doing too well versus the combat engineers, and there we go, the last three troops getting the devil out of there.
Pioneers ready for anything.
So slow advance there, conscripts will go back there. And already taking up here Mr. Fortune.
Territory increased as Osttruppen ready.
Centre secured, west rather open. None of the fuel points currently in the hands of the Germans or the Kampfgruppe.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
And there we go. Leichte mechanized company up. Nothing to do with it at the moment. Conscripts there. Noting an early special rifle command here for Ozena. Only 3 squads of conscripts. And there you go. Another Ostsoldat tot. And there go MD42 holding up things here, but nothing to cover the flank. That's allowing here the conscripts to hit it there. A bit of problems in waiting. Pioneers equipped with a Flammenwerfer. Scout car on the way. And getting a Grenadier squad, some slightly more serious infantry. Though we quickly see the MD42 being rushed off the field. Gulat Scout car arriving. Conscripts moving ahead. Osttruppen engaging conscripts. Need to be careful they don't get too close.
Enemy is taking our territory.
And there we go. Oh, scout car getting a bit too close to the conscript. Conscripts are making a rush for the church. No, Pioneer squad making into it. And begin pouring out fire. And there you go, the conscripts all of a sudden suffer a rather nasty treatment. Meanwhile, conscripts up here versus the Osttruppen. Osttruppen managed to gain veterans on, but quickly got overwhelmed by the conscripts in return. Again, very low health comparison to the conscripts, or at least reasonably lower health.
Did you need something?
The scout car here managed to push things back. Grenadiers on the move. A light machine gun would not be a bad idea to upgrade these gentlemen with.
Hilfswilliger. HMG here.
And a bunch of troops here in dire need of reinforcement.
How can we help?
Scout car on the move.
Yes? Ready as we'll ever be. Grenadiers, ready.
Moving up to deal with Soviet scout car moving in here. Bunker up in the cemetery. Ominous. There you go. Grenadiers and scout car attacking. Scout car gets hit by an anti-tank grenade, and scout car moving in here. Ostrom going to get caught here, sandwiched between the two advancing conscript squads, and the scout car hitting from the flank. This is bad. This is really bad. They are bursting into flames, getting murdered here. This is a massacre. One great Panzerfaust, but ultimately though the squad gets wiped out. Rather unfortunately, obviously this conscript squad not really doing too well either. Ultimately though, managed to survive. Machine gun bunker, I suppose, could be an idea here. But no, we actually see a command bunker establishing a forward fighting post.
Ostruppen awaiting orders.
Fresh Ostrom squad arrive, mortar on the way, and at the same time we see that Ozena has gotten a mortar of his own, which means he actually went for shock army. I rather forgot to look at his doctrines. My Panzer basically had counter-attack and urban defense, and then of course shock army, and he chose the shock army. Conscript advantage going after the scout car, two conscript Ostrom squad here, finding out the conscript actually giving enough damage here. Need to be careful there, down to half health. Heavy mortar firing away here. Ostrom going for the victory. C4 over there taking some nasty damage. And there we go, conscript taking quite a bit of damage. Ostrom actually advancing rather boldly. And a scout car causing a bit of havoc down south. Ostrom squad almost wiped out, and two more squads advancing. Also, thing to keep in mind, they can't shoot on the move, so again they're very much dependent on moving from cover to cover, extremely dependent in fact. Without, they pretty much suck. Though generally that is rather how German doctrine operated, what they considered lower quality troops. German or otherwise, they were basically meant to hold fortified positions, not really much expected to do on the attack. But again, this is a bad position, this is reasonably better. Scout car moving up, this squad needs to retreat, it will not be able to stand, also making one command point. He should strongly consider getting an officer. Oh, squad wiped out! Not looking good there for Fortune. Another squad of Ostrom. I mean, at the very least, they are very cheap to replace. But I do think, you know, he could be doing a bit more with them. And there we go. Granaten there for adds the front. Also running in a nice mine there from Ozena. Troops reinforcing. Scout continuing to cause havoc. Bunker going up here. Of course, Ostrom can be used to build bunkers as well. So they are quickly getting to job on to work on that. With their early war field caps too, and setting up a trench here. Basically a nice piece of heavy cover you can place wherever you want, but can only be used by the occupants. So I mean, it's not like your opponent, for example, can run up to it while you're in it, and you know, take advantage of it as well. Looks like he's going to set off blocking position here with the MG42. By the way, free to make, but the opponent can also use them if you're not careful. Assault here. We are seeing the support armor core going up. Oh, we can see the Pioneer go down here. Oh no! A nice little raid here from Ozena using his scout car. Cheeky but clever play. Meanwhile here, conscript running up front here from the trenched machine gun. Bit of mortar fire going in. Doing a bit of damage to all the MG42 handles. A direct hit from the heavy mortar. That's rather the power of the trench, in a sense. Support armor core though still standing. And in this case, Fortune does lose nerve and actually pull out of the trench, leaving it behind for his opponent to see if it comes down to that. But working to make it territory, but we are seeing the camp of Reinhardt so far has actually managed to secure a nice chunk of the map. Veterans 2 on the scout car. Another Pioneer squad will need to quickly finish this support armor core. It looks like we are going to see Ozena make another push towards here. The cheeky bastard. Light machine gun on the grenadiers. Mortar a bit too forward for my liking. And getting spotted here by the conscripts. Need to get out of there. Another Pioneer squad going to get wiped out. Overdrive on the scout car. Oh, the inhumanity. And mortar cleared out. This is looking a bit like Ozena Fortune is simply getting overextended mentally here by Ozena, basically attacking on so many fronts, including a scout car, constantly harassing his very home territories. The absolute nerve right there from Ozena. Mortar stolen. Grenadiers managed to make it to the building nearby. Conscripts holding out now in the trench. It looks like the scout car here will finally go down. Fortune finally sorted out that problem, but the losses have actually been high. He's lost 2 Pioneer squads in the process. And the Grenadier squad got wiped out. Mortar round causing time to collapse, and the light machine gun actually managed to land outside the ruins.
We are ready to go, comrades.
Another Pioneer squad. Looks like overall losses have been heavy for Fortune. He's lost most of his infantry. He's only got 2 squads of Ostrom. He's getting quickly the 3rd one. Again, I would suggest he gets an officer to really get the most out of them, to boost them with concentrated fire. And again, overall, having them work together.
There are no cowards here.
But now a second mortar up here for Ozena. Ozena taking in the equipment from his opponent. Also going to get a penal trooper squad or penal battalion. Nice job there. A bit of heavier infantry up. Not using the shock troops, by the way. Actually, penal troops. Interesting. The Ostrom here, they'll need to get away. They are fighting against conscripts with a light machine gun in a trench. They can't win that. And there we go. Quick to get out of there. MD42 and Ostrom here fighting against the penal troops. Ostrom, they'll need to get into cover. And so not much closer to the penal. And there go, using actually armor-piercing incendiary rounds being used on the penal troops, increasing the damage done. A clone, and there we go, just shredding them. Nice job there. Heavy mortar going in. Ostrom trying to crawl into the church as the entire town is getting bombarded. Vicious stuff. Nasty stuff. MD42 moving up. Another grenade squad out here for Fortune. Ostrom also getting their bonus inside building, so again they will actually be a bit stronger here. But we do see a nice quick Molotov here against the Ostropen. MD42 getting up to flank here from the ditch. Also very aggressive play here for the victory points. And finally looks like the support armor core is finished. Scout car continues to do its nasty work. So we're seeing a mechanized armor company there going up for Ozena. He's also probably feeling a bit calm because again he's been absolutely delaying Fortune's support armor core for quite some time.
Supply sector under attack.
And we actually see the mortar has been placed in the trench. The medium mortar can be, the heavy mortar cannot. But nice little move there. Definitely going to be harder to deal with that unless, of course, he actually managed to collapse the trench with the rifle grenade, since the trench cone structural integrity is a bit below good. And there we go. Panzerkampfwagen here sending to support the Kampfgruppe, which keeps sending in more of its Ostrom. We actually see him using the infantry awareness ability. Lovely. I mean, clearly Fortune's actually more of a veteran commander. He knows how to use his veterancy abilities. Lovely. I just wish he'd actually also use the officer to support his Ostrom, and he'd also, support the Ostrom with other Ostrom and other things. In that sense, they're like Fult's Grenadiers times 2. They very much cannot work on their own. They very much need to work with other infantry. And there we go. Rifle grenade caused his trench to collapse, killing the poor occupants, but also denying a mortar to Ozena. Panzer IV moving up here. Ostrom in dire need of support, though they have Engine 2 now, which definitely should give them a fighting chance. And there we go, machine gun on the Panzerkampfwagen 4. But we do see that overall fortune has been pushed back by unrelenting Soviet assault. Submachine guns now being handed out. And again, remember, in Deckung, don't march straight into such things like these. These Ostroms simply don't stand a chance. They just need to be retreated on the spot. Luckily, though, he's occupied with other things like managing his vehicles up here. So right here, we just see one submachine gun equipped conscript squad quickly take short work of 2 squads of Ostrom. And a fuel cache up. Su-85 on the way. Panzer IV moving out.
Your orders, comrade. Our PPSHs are here. Now even
And the Panzer IV arrives as well. Might try and actually knock out that fuel cache. Veteran is 2 Ostrom squad moving up. Again, I would like to see some officers or something. Instead, we actually get a Panzer Grenadier squad. They're comfortable more swiftly assembling some better infantry by now. Flammenwerfer Pioniere burning away at the conscripts now. Veteran C3, by the way. Nasty work that. Careful with the scout car, careful. In particular, considering how close it is to getting Veteran C3. Would be a definite shame to lose that.
Awaiting orders. Man down.
Pioneers need to be careful. And oh, he lost the Pioneer squad and the scout car. We do see the Ostrom managed to make it up there. They could seize the light machine gun, but of course need to stay in cover. And there we go. Penal troops now facing off against the Ostrom with a Flammenwerfer. Though again, heavy mortar proves to be a bit of a nasty piece of work. And there we go, forced retreat. MT-42 fighting from a nearby position here. Covered by an old truck and the Panzer IV also rolling in. But quickly gets hammered here by the heavy mortar. That heavy mortar is definitely paying off. Su-85 standing in ambush mode up there in the north. Ooh, Panzer goes hit a mine. Rather unfortunate.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
There we go. Penal troop almost wiped out. Heavy mortar might be the next target here. We also see the Su-85 reacting to this threat. In fact, might be gets it, but there we go. Su-85 is running up with the Panzer IV. Panzer IV's now trouble. There we go. Veteran C1, Blitzkrieg, and there we go. Blitzkrieg away. Well done, well done. Just get out of there, Fortune. Schnell. And there we go. Taking the main road, anti-tank grenade. Hits but doesn't penetrate. And the Panzer IV successfully escapes. A daring and bold escape.
Enemy squad has us sighted.
Fortune constantly getting fresh. Ostrom, Gebaldeladen up there, almost wiping out the combat engineers. Serious fighting going on here around the centre. Su-85 still advancing. And that Panzer IV will need some dire repairs pretty swiftly. Su-85 a bit too much forwards. Going to get Panzerfaust right there.
Incoming rounds. Orders.
Grenadiers might want to get into some positions.
Encroaching on our territory.
Same with the Ostrom. Get into the ditch.
The PPSHs have arrived. You have orders. Grenade.
And there we go. Grenadiers need to get out of there.
Polish our supply lines.
Oh dear, he lost the squad.
The enemy is taking what we have secured.
Panzer IV halfway done.
Conscripts under attack. What do you have for us?
Ostrom actually taking a bit of damage here from the Ostropen. Find a bit of cover there. But again, the conscripts are now going close. The Ostrom just need to retreat. They cannot handle this. And there we go, another squad wiped out. Pretty heavy losses going on here. Not that uncommon. Another Grenadier squad of having a fortune.
We are ready! Man down! Fire incoming!
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
Hino squad.
It looks like the veterans who two Ozena managed to sort things out. And there you go, Panzer 4 on the move. SU-85 actually exposed. If the Panzer 4 Blitzkrieg's in now, it could knock it out. Time to go to Ozena though. And time for the mid-game analysis. Current situation is that Fortune's rather under a lot of severe pressure. He's actually suffering some rather pretty high attrition amongst his Ozena, also a bit his other infantry. He needs to sort of actually focus out a bit more. He has a slight tendency of spreading out a bit too much, which does render him a bit, how should one say, vulnerable and a bit exposed. And that's something he needs to be a bit more careful of, a bit more aware of, because he ends up actually overextending a bit too much and losing too much at the same time. I mean, while he's spreading out, he never actually begins, for example, pressuring elsewhere, so it's a bit awkward in a sense. He's spreading out, but not in any way that actually, say, gains him a strategic advantage. So it's a bit of awkward, and again, Ozena, I mean, generally the best way is having two squads operating close to each other. Sort of once you actually have to do any fighting, otherwise, I mean, you generally don't get much out of them, or you need them to support another unit. But again, that's not quite happening, so in that sense, I mean, Fortune's running into a bit of trouble with his troops. He does have a Panzer, he also has some Panzer Grenadiers, which could do with a light machine gun. So, I mean, there's definitely some options. We're now seeing a heavy Panzer Corps up. And in that regard, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea then to get, for example, a Panther to help deal with the SU-85 a bit more, how should one say, seriously than what he's doing currently. I mean, the Panther would definitely have the advantage due to higher speed, frontal armour, and a nicer range than the Panzer IV. Equipped with machine gun, it would also be able to handle infantry overall nicely. Otherwise, I also suggest he gets an officer out to help support infantry and definitely also work with the Ozena to then use concentrate to try and get the most out of them. For Mr. Ozena, it's about getting down to mines, it's about locking down the main routes that his opponent could be using. It's also about pushing down here, I think, perhaps getting another SU-5 and also getting some SU-76s to provide some bit more direct artillery, and just also some SU-76s to help, keep the armour a bit honest, but, having something that can keep a high rate of fire, while the SU-5s, just blast away from another range. So there are some thoughts there to keep in mind. He could also consider getting a howitzer up since he's gone for Soviet shock army and just, bombard the area. That could also prove to be very much a big nail in the coffin of Fortune. But the other thing, again, it can rather come down to how Fortune actually utilises this heavy Panzer Corps. Makes good use of it, he could win. If not, he could lose, very much so. It's already a bit of an investment, getting the upgrade for that, which is, 200 manpower, 50 fuel. And then the building itself, which is also a bit there, in particular in manpower, so that is something to keep in mind of. But let's return to the fight. And there we go, Blitzkrieg ahead. There we go, SU-85 exposed, nice move there, nice move. Ozena moving into support, he probably should get into the nearby house. There we go. SU-85 pretty much in trouble. Ozena, veterans asleep, and they got wiped out there by the SU-85. What rotten luck. And there you go, veterans 2 for the Panzer IV, another SU-85 arriving. Panzer is moving up. And there we go, light machine gun, submachine gun, and flam there for on the conscripts. These are some absolute bastards. And there you go, the Panzer is going to get wiped out. They can't stand up to all of this firepower. Absolutely devastating. Another Blitzkrieg might try and go after the SU-85 as well. That would definitely be nice. And this crowd, Ozena got a bit too bold with his SU-85. Can he actually save it? No. Oh, looks like he can. Looks like he can. Fortune pulls back. Ozena getting spotted by the conscripts in the middle of the road. Not really good. They simply don't stand a chance against veterans 3 conscripts with submachine guns.
Panzer IV ready.
Grenadiers reporting.
Ready for orders.
Ooh, conscripts were drawn in by the machine gun bunker.
Our opponents are
And thus finally forced away. But losing a lot of territory here. Pushed back on all fronts. Panzer therefore on the way. No immediate attempt at a Panther. I do think he should make an attempt at that. Can he get the veterans of the conscripts on the retreat?
German territory, no!
Very close, but no cigar. Heavy mortar is exposed. And there you go, the Panzerwerfer 42. Pretty much exclusively used by the Panzer divisions.
Ready as we'll ever be.
Fired the same rockets as the Nebelwerfer, pretty much. Just fired more of them. It's a little fun fact there.
You have a rocket target?
Looks like the mortar him up to the target. And no, he was actually worried something might be advancing up there, but actually we see Fortune's making a major push up, and he's actually mining up in case we do see the Panzer IV blitzing up there. Good move there, mining a choke point. Guys here getting overwhelmed by the penal troops.
Yes!
Need to get out of there.
Are securing our territory.
Another squad of Panzer Grenadiers.
Okay.
Situation a bit dangerous at the moment for Fortune, though he still has the Panzer IV and now of course the Panzerwerfer,
Is ready for action.
which Fortune also makes sure to actually pull back for every time he's fired. Very much shoot and scoot tactics. Doing his best to ensure the mortar doesn't get caught in any kind of counter-artillery, which is certainly not a bad idea considering there's a heavy mortar ranging about. Going for the victory points, well done.
Shoots in here. I suppose you have orders. Awaiting orders.
A little bit quiet. And there we go, more mines, lovely, lovely. Really good use of mines actually now by Ozena, really doing his best to limit the movement of the Panzer IV. And I think that's why he's primarily mining, is to ensure that the Panzer IV can't just blitzkrieg in and sort of outmaneuver his S-35. So in that sense, I mean, we're actually seeing Ozena here planning ahead. Good job. And again, Fortune needs to be a bit more careful in his usage of the Ostrom. It does seem like, that Fortune might need some more work, perfecting his Ostrom tactics. I mean, there's clearly some good ideas there, but the execution seems to be a bit lacking. And again, I think he's forgetting one of the key units in the doctrine, which again is the field officer.
Taking casualties! We claimed it for the fatherland!
Einsatzbereit. You need something?
Otherwise, I definitely think he should try making his way towards a Panther now. Instead, we're actually posting a lot of fuel towards munitions, probably for this ability, which is really nice. But again, I think the Panther should be a high priority to help deal with the 285s. But we're clearly seeing the fuel cache up here, the previous one and this one, I suppose, ultimately paying off a bit. Grenadiers moving up on their own, perhaps not the best idea. Need to retreat. Come on, Fortune, Rückzug. Oh dear, Ozena again spreading out a bit too much, trying to manage a bit too much at the same time. Looks like he's blasting the heavy mortar up here, and there we go. Heavy mortar down, finally. But again, Ulrich extending himself a bit too much. Light machine guns here on the way. Again, need to retreat. Come on, Fortune, Rückzug. Yeah.
We have casualties.
Not sure. Looks like things are falling a bit apart here for Fortune by the end. Might be too much to manage all of a sudden. I'm not sure.
We are losing the sector.
But it certainly seems a bit curious how he's losing a lot of Grenadiers so quickly.
Standing by. Panzer standing by. The territory is out of
Ozena though
contact.
continues to push it forward. It's pretty hard. There go another blitzkrieg maneuver. S-35's opening up. He needs to quickly get behind them. No, oh, he rushes ahead. He didn't try to circle about them quickly enough.
Our sector.
I think, in fact, he might be circling a bit too widely, actually giving the S-35s time to react and turn around.
We're being flanked.
And this MG-42 needs to get out of there.
The foothold. We are down
There we go. SU-85s have been given time to act. I think that was a major mistake there from Fortune. MG-42 set up there. Oh, Fortune looks like things are falling apart. Railway artillery on the way. Panzermans need to get away though. And there we go, splitting up the SU-85s, drawing in the Panther IV, one of them allowing the other to deal with it. Very nice tactic there to counter the blitzing Panther IV, and mine went off, destroying the engine. Yes, there we go. Ozena doing his best to actually negate the power of a blitzkrieg Panther IV, or for that matter, just a maneuvering Panther IV. Really good job there. Really good job there. Absolutely outstanding. Panzerwehr, for those, seems to have been forgotten again. He's getting overwhelmed at the moment.
They are under attack!
Scout car looks to be making another raid towards his base. And Panzerwehr looks to have done some nasty damage somewhere.
The sector has been cut off.
Territory taken. Push on.
Ready.
And that Panzer IV is definitely in need of some emergency repairs. Oh, looks like the scout car down here got wiped out. And most of the combat units inside it as well.
What do you need?
Panzer specifically moving in to counter the Penal Battalion. Satchel charge off. Oh,
We have casualties!
only Friedrich went down.
Half-track awaiting orders.
Certainly Fortune is striking back hard.
Enemy down to 200 points.
And certainly, I mean, it's not like Ozena's having it all easy, but clearly, I mean, it rather appears like Fortune got all of a sudden mentally overextended at some point, though why is a bit more unclear.
New units are ready to deploy.
Ready.
More Ostrom arriving. Veterans 3 MD-42. Huzzah.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Engaged by Red Army forces!
Panzer IV.
There we go. Panzer IV getting repaired again. I'd recommend another Pioneer squad to help with that. Panzer going to need to be seriously careful around these Veteran 3 conscripts with submachine guns. Oh, and they just need to get out there. Right now, right now.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Points being secured. Getting another mortar out, interestingly enough.
Ready. Our forces increase.
They're shooting at us!
That barrage didn't do much.
Ready! Was ist los?
It's done.
Grenade! Standing by!
We are losing a sector.
Ready!
That's bad for the Pioneers. They just need to get out of there. Come on, Heinz. Fortune, save your men.
Enemy has broken our supply lines.
Conscripts moving ahead. Point being secured. And time to move over to Ozena. Ready. Oh, Panzer IV needs to get out. We were seeing the 3 SU-85s advancing like a hungry pack of wolves with 85mm guns mounted on them. Panzer IV though managed to escape reasonably successfully, but still there's definitely some problems here. Anti-tank grenade went off, damaging the engine. SU-85 moves ahead. Panzerwehr firing ahead to probably try and cover things up a bit, but not going to cover it. A pack would be nice about now, or say a Panther, but apparently Fortune decided a Panther was not necessary. And in that case, I'm pretty sure he misread the opponent a bit.
They are not real soldiers!
And I'm starting to get the idea that Fortune might not actually like his Ostrom, since he rather seems a bit insistent on killing and kill. There are 2 Panzermen squad, SU-85 moving up, Panther IV trying to escape its grim fate. Trying to hide it. There we go, SU-5's moving up. Strafing run going in as well. That Panzer IV definitely doesn't stand a chance. And we actually see smoke. A bit too late though, a bit too late. Panzer is now equipped with a Panzer Schreck. Panzer is fighting a desperate battle over here versus eventually two Osttruppen. I mean, penal battalions. There we go, SU-5 taking some heavy damage, another SU-5 arriving. Panzer need to retreat.
Assault gun in the fight.
It is finished.
SU-85 combat ready.
Definitely not looking to be a happy battle.
Better to die to enemy fire than to be executed.
Assault gun ready for action. Taking machine gun fire. Assault gun in the fight.
Enemy forces capturing supply sector.
And there we go, another SU-5 out of control. Pack arriving, a bit late though.
Red Army.
A sector has been cut off.
Overall though, Ozena stands with a stronger force, I would say. And more Osttruppen to try and take back territory.
Taking
Lovely.
fucking fire!
Enemy forces are capturing our supplies.
That's the middle, it goes weak. How can we help? Into this.
Tank destroyer here.
Da, tovarish. What do you need? Conscripts here.
And a bit of quiet.
You need engineers?
Waiting for your command.
And pretty much all of Ozena's conscripts are veterans 3, which is considerably more than the Germans. Which is never really a good sign. Except, you know, the MG42. Yeah, we've just been standing out here and shooting the Russians. We are the most veteran of ours. Scheiß.
Assault gun ready for action.
We built it as ordered.
SU-5, by the way, not the biggest of this kind of tanks, so the result of the SU-100, which had a bigger gun. The problem was, though, it was a bit overloaded, which had a tendency of leaving it a bit likely to tip over, which really wasn't good.
We're taking lethal fire.
They did also actually see some post-war action on the SU-100 by the SU-100M.
He died on account of the Soviet
It's a little fun fact there as well.
Grenade!
That's just continuing here. Nice grenade there. Flare mine went off, though it doesn't look like it actually managed to kill anyone this time around. Can happen.
Grenade!
Oh, cycle charge on the veterans for the MG42. Oh, scheiß.
Rafniki drawing fire.
Engineers ready.
That was a huge loss.
Ready.
Engineer squad.
Rifleman ready. This now belongs to the people and workers of the Soviet Union.
Pioneers need to retreat.
We have found the enemy.
And Sturmgeschütz 3 arriving.
Rocket launcher on the field.
One rather gets the impression it might be a bit too late now. There's barely anything to hold back the front line. Most of the infantry is pretty dead.
Flamethrower squad.
And there's pretty much nothing actually veteran except those Panzer Grenadiers.
Assault gun ready for action.
The troops are pulling up.
The sector is at risk.
We are ready to go.
We are ready to build it.
And there we go, more to one of these veterans in 3 conscripts with light machine guns, submachine guns just tearing through the Fritzes.
Yes, comrade. Infantry, watch for AT weapons.
Squad standing by.
Tank destroyer here.
Supply lines have been cut.
Must defend this territory. You have orders?
And these Panzer guns are pretty close to being wiped out. And another mortar here stolen by Ozena.
Stop building. Start ducking.
Stug moving ahead. Ostrom supporting. And overall looks like this might be a bit game over.
Our enemy has only 200 points.
Stug doing what he can, Ostrom as well, but a bit too late. And there we go, another Ostrom squad wiped out. So many Ostrom died. None will really care on either side. And there we go, game over. A loss to Fortune, a loss to the Kampfgruppe Reinhard. Hastily assembled with lots of Ostrom as the core. And I think the problem partly here for Fortune was twofold. I mean, I rather get the impression he was actually trying out a new strategy. So in that sense, I mean, clearly there were some marks of him being a good player. He actually made good use of veterans' abilities. He actually made good use of his tanks in dealing with the HQ5s. I mean, the 1 Panzer IV actually did a lot of damage. I mean, he's clearly not a novice. But it also seems like he wasn't quite, fully understanding how to utilize his Ostrom, which led to some rather unfortunate mistakes, led to a lot of them being wasted sensibly. Or senselessly, not sensibly. Although I suppose some might argue it's sensibly, but that's another matter. I mean, partly, again, he had a tendency of spreading that too far ahead, leaving them to fight their fights on their own. Again, that's not really what Ostrom are good at. Even when in heavy car, I mean, they rather should be working at least in pairs, and I'm not saying block them, I would say work with them in pairs, that way, you actually get something out of them. He rather didn't do that, which partly hurt him. He also, failed to really harass, the flanks of Ozena with them, which could have also been used using their large numbers. And he also failed, to get them to work with the officers. In that sense, he didn't quite get as much out of them as well. I also think another problem was, he actually went for the heavy Panzer Corps, but again, he didn't fully utilize it. He never got a Panther, which I think should have been his priority. Once he realized what was going on, he should have gone, hey, a Panther might actually, solve this problem for me. Wouldn't it, Friedrich? Ja, it would, mein Kapitän. But again, never quite materialised. In that sense, he left himself rather open to the HQ5s. And again, we actually saw here and again, Ozena actually made a lot of great decisions. Once the Panzer IV blitzkrieging about dealt with his HQ5s, he quickly began mining the snot over the plate track to deny its mobility. I began laying out minefields. That was great. That was good thinking. I mean, he overall preserved his units nicely as well. Also great. He made use of mines, flare mines. He also actually spread out his HQ5s once he began getting hit by the Panzer IV. The second time again, he actually came up with counter tactics which allowed him to actually deal with the Panzer IV without risking to get both HQ5s outmaneuvered. So again, clever play. He could certainly use some shock troops maybe and the heavy howitzer, but overall, I mean, he actually played pretty well. And he also made a great decision actually rushing his opponent's base there. And I mean, he wasn't going for a base rush, he was just going for more of a harassment, disruption move using the scout cannon. In this case, he was actually a bit lucky being able to stop the support armor corps from going up. So in that sense, that was great stuff. I mean, that was, a bit like, back in the old days with the Greyhound being used, disrupting your opponent's base stuff. So in that sense, I mean, really well played from Ozena. I mean, fortunate as well, but again, he was clearly trying out a new strategy. At least I would like to imagine he was trying out a new strategy. I mean, if you think that was a finished strategy, now of course there were some problems there, but I mean, there was clearly some problems there, but at the same time, he could have done some things to actually salvage, and again, that would have been a Panther. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned a thing or two about, for example, getting some ideas about your own ideas with the Ostrom doctrine, because clearly, I mean, even while Fortune made some mistakes, I mean, clearly there were some good ideas there. I mean, he actually had support weapons for them. He wasn't fully relying on them. The problem was basically the basic utilization of the Ostrom, which rather needs to be fine-tuned. And again, he also needs to use officer, I would suggest. But overall, I mean, well played and really well played from Ozena. I mean, great use of his HQ5s. Great job in utilising them against, again, a very fast Panzer IV, and great job, trying his best to actually deny them their ability, or their main advantage in the fighting HQ5s, which is actually mobility. So, hope you enjoyed. If you did, why not subscribe, tell a friend, share it, all that. If you didn't, well, why not replay the provide some feedback in the comments. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.